Hi and welcome back to Sadie's Spincraft. Today is Sheep History Day and we are doing Shetland. I'm using grey Shetland to spin and it's going to be comb top, so it should be fun, but I'm going to show you how I take my bobbin off. Thought I would. So, the Shetland Breed. The northernmost islands of Britain are the home of and source of the name for Shetland sheep. The 100-plus island archipelago, I don't know that word, I'm really sorry, is located at the latitude about equal to that of Fairbanks, Alaska, and along with the Orkney Islands to its southwest, forms the breaks between the North Sea to the east and the Atlantic Ocean to the west. 15 of Shetland's islands are inhabited by people, that is, many more are home to Shetland sheep and ponies. Shetland sheep have evolved in this harsh island environment for more than 1,000 years. The roots of the breed's origin have been the subject of much study, some debate, and as of yet, no conclusive agreements. Sheep, including types most closely represented today by the Sowie and North Romildsay breeds, have lived in the vicinity of Shetland for several thousand years. From 2,000 years ago to the present, genes from Roman-influenced types of sheep moving north from the southern parts of the British Isles have modified many of the northern sheep populations, including the Shetlands, to greater and lesser degrees. About 1,500 years ago, seafaring Scandinavian people brought other sheep from farther east to add to the island mixes. In addition, economic pressures in favour of either wool or meat production have nudged the gene pool back and forth, most dramatically in the 18th through to the 20th century. DNA testing should help us unravel the complicated stories that have brought us today's Shetlands. But for the time being, we don't know enough to explain how these sheep got to be the way they are. Despite or because of all this shifting about, Shetlands offer fibre lovers the equivalent of a sheepy smorgasbord of wool options, with a wide variety of colours, textures and styles of fleeces. Because of the variety, there's a whole vocabulary that goes with Shetland sheep and their fibre. There are 11 different colours which function as identifiable stopping points along a lush natural rainbow, including whites, greys, beiges, moritz, which is a reddish brown, medium to deep browns and blacks. The names assigned to these colours have a particular connection to tradition and are partially a delightful romantic overlay. They include terms like emsket, Charlia and moaget. Sorry if I've ruined those words. In some breeds, greys and light or medium browns occur through a visual blending of dark and light fibres. In the Shetland, there are true, solidly pigmented greys and soft browns, Although the full colour range still exists in the breed, it is threatened. According to our friend Jan Dorner, author of the Encyclopedia of Historic and Endangered Livestock and Poultry Breeds, 9 of the rarest colours out of the 11 identified shades totalled just 214 sheep in 1994. That's not very many sheep for each of those shades, although since that time more breeders have realised the potential for loss and are breeding Shetland specifically for colour. The animals themselves also have colour names based on the patterning of their coats. There are 30 names which, although not entirely traditional or used consistently, offer one way to make sense of a breed with extremely complex colour alternatives. The body patterns are not mutually exclusive, meaning you can potentially have a Bersaget Uglet or a Snalliot I'll leave that word because they're just weird. They're obviously Old Scottish. Shetland sheep colours could fill a book in their own right. Sometimes Shetland fibre is described as the finest wool grown by any sheep breed in the British Isles, and it can be remarkably fine, as seen in Shetland lace ring shawls, spun from carefully selected locks of neck wool from the finest fleeced sheep. These shawls are so delicate that a large one can be drawn easily through a wedding ring. Wow. At other times, the fibre is too coarse for use in next-to-skin garments or baby clothes. We've even heard people refer to Shetland yarn as scratchy, thinking that was true of all the breeds of wool. What gives? From the early history of the breed, there have been 2 distinctive types of Shetland fleeces: kindly, which is fine, soft and more single-coated and also has well-defined crimp, and beaver, a coarse style that contains less crimp and more hair. Double-coatedness may be part of the original genetic composition of Shetlands, or it may have been introduced or refined by later contributions from other breeds. In 1927, breeders who were concerned that the heritage traits of the Shetland were about to vanish formed the Shetland Flock Book Society and defined breed standards. Discussions on what the Shetland breed should be like are ongoing in Shetland and everywhere else that these sheep are now grown. Agnes Leask, a lifelong Shetland crofter, which is a small farmer, is quoted thus in Shetland Breeds: "Little animals, very full of spirit." I don't agree with the Flock Book of 1927. It's an engineered breed. You won't get modern Flock Book sheep surviving in the hills without a bit of pamper. That's speaking from experience. There is no question that the Shetland sheep have experienced breeding pressures towards improvement in production values, whether towards wool or meat. In what form they originated and where breeding should go in the future are hotly debated among those who care passionately about the breed. What we can do as fibre lovers is understand the history, Recognise that breeders look for different strengths and qualities in their flocks, and understand that some Shetland fleeces, and therefore some Shetland yarns, will be exceptionally fine and soft, while others will be rough and sturdy. Shedding versus shearing. The ability to shed is present in a greater or lesser degree if different strains of Shetlands, both single and double. Coated. In stronger double-coated animals, the undercoat and outercoat may shed at different intervals, making it relatively easy to separate the fibres as they come off the sheep by plucking or rueing, as was traditionally done. Double-coated fleeces with high contrast between the fibre types may be a relatively recent development in the breed. So there is a lot more to be read in this. There is a lot about the Shetland. I'm now going to go on to the characteristics and Shetland facts and whatnot. So the fleece weight is 2 to 5 pounds, which is 0.9 or 2 to 3 kilogram, 2.3 kilograms, usually in the range of 2 to 4 pounds, which is 0.9 to 1.8 kilograms. The yield is 65 to 80%, usually on the higher side. The staple length varies depending on the type of Shetland. Think 2 to 4.5 inches in general. Some fleeces, including those from many North American Shetlands, have a range from 4 to 6 inches, while others are as long as 6 to 10 inches. While some people question whether the longest fleece, those with staple length of 6 to 7 inches or more, remain true to the unique qualities and history of Shetland wool, others prefer to breed their animals to produce this long fibre. The ultimate question for the fibre user is whether a given fleece meets your needs. The fibre diameter. Covering the full span of possibilities, most fibres are likely to fall in the range of 20 to 30 microns, with some as fine as 10 to 20 microns. That's neck wool from the finest fleeces, spinning count of 70s finer than 80s, and some as coarse as 30 to 60 microns or more. Outer coat on a double-coated sheep, spinning count coarser than 36 to 50s. The Shetland Sheep Society gives an average fibre diameter of 23 microns, reflecting the breed's bias towards the fine end, spinning count 62s. Lock characteristics. Regardless of style, the fleece is dense with locks that are usually wider at the base and somewhat pointed, so the essential shape is triangular. The finer fibres are nicely crimped and the longer, coarser fibres are wavy to nearly straight. The dyeing. The whites are frequently dyed. The natural colours are most often used in their original state, but they can be over-dyed. I do like to over-dye the greys and morit and other colours that they have. So yeah, thank you for listening. So I hope you enjoyed that. We got, I think it was, oh I've forgotten now. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Yeah, there is 39 yards there. I only did a small one. I really do like Shetland. I like how it feels. I like everything about it. even when it's a single, you get a little bit of a bounce to it. But I think that's because I was spinning it short woolen, short forward draw woolen style. Good God, I couldn't get that out, could I? Oh, I don't know. So yeah, thank you all so much for joining me. Don't forget, this Friday is the sale on Facebook, and I'll show it on YouTube as well. Hope you all can join me. And yeah, no matter where you are in the world, whether it's morning, afternoon, evening or night time, I want you to do what you love doing. Love and hugs to all you fantastic people, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.